What's up, everyone? It's Thompson and Martin from Positive Thoughts Podcast. Today, we are here on this pod with another amazing guest, my very good friend and brother, and co-builder in this space as well. He's building a lot of cool things at Helicode. I like what they're building, so I figured, maybe we should have a chat and a conversation around the things that they're building at Helicode, what problems they've been solving, how they've been solving them, and the learnings that they've made all this while. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. What are you guys building at Helicode? Just for the benefit of our listeners, what are you guys building at Helicode?
Yeah, so basically we're building a new kind of school where Africans have access to next generation skills because we figured that a lot of Africans have potentials. The potentials is there, the talent is there, but there's something that is lacking, which is the platform, right? So we figured for Africans to actually become, that Africans where we're able to do our own stuff, right? Well, most times we've always been seen as consumers and not producers. That's what we're trying to change. We're trying to change the narrative, which is allow Africans to do their own thing. So basically, we're just building a new kind of school where young Africans have access to building next gen skills, more like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a particular project that I'm super bullish, and I'm happy that you've already started building these things to existence. A while ago, we launched Other Labs, which is basically an on-chain or more like a Web3 educational platform where we like go through different products and Web3 productivity tools as well, like how you can use them, make tutorial videos around them, post them there on YouTube and on Lens, and so that people can have easy access to how to do different things and how to use different tools in the Web3 space. So I'm big on education particularly, and I'm happy to hear. I was going through like some of the courses that you offer on Helicode. I think it's mind blowing. It's not just mind blowing. It's something that should be done because people need skills to be able to function and work in the Web3 space. So what particularly inspired you to start building Helicode?
So the thing is, if you check very well, like to build wealth, to make money in the space, to do great things, you need skills, right?
Right.
And as Africans, we are mostly seen as consumers. Like, you just have to like follow this particular path. These are the things that's already been existing, and you follow the same path, follow the same model, and but to be very real with you, what inspired me to build this thing was because, or is still because, right now the population of Nigeria is, for an example, population of Nigeria is 200 million plus, and if you look at the analysis of how many persons or how many individuals is making about 100,000 naira per month, bro, that percentage is very, very low, right? Maybe 1% of 200 million people, right? But the real question is,
and this is not actually like proven based on research. It's just like
is there? Yeah, like
wow.
No. So the thing is, if you follow these startups like Piggyverse, they always do this yearly annual analysis of, we ask Nigerians how much salary do they make per month, how many Nigerians make about 1 million naira per month, and then when you check the analysis, you're seeing like a very little percentage of Nigerians make up to 100,000 naira per month.
Wow.
Now, what exactly is freedom? Freedom is, you can define freedom in several instances, but for an example, when you say financial freedom, which means you're able to survive on your own, you're able to do stuff you want to do, and also there's like a very huge unemployment out there.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
So the reason why, that inspired me to start Helicode is because we want people to do their own thing. We want people to achieve their own dreams. And how do they do that? They start from somewhere by building a skill, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to empower ourselves as Africans to build, this futuristic Africa. That's like the inspiration behind.
Like so Nico, so much going out there. It's not like there is a lot of people building this type of solutions. I'm big on building solutions that are actually usable, that can be sustainable. And I find that this is a particular solution and products that not a lot of people, not a lot of entrepreneurs and builders are out there creating this type of solution. This is like giving a hand, each one teach one, right? Now, okay, I know this and I want to help other people come to this knowledge. Education is good, like tertiary education is very good and mind-blowing, but then you need an entry point,
Of course.
in the tech space, in the system, I think you need an entry point. That's where skills come in. And that is why what you're building at Helicode is super amazing. I find it really help. It is one of the most important things actually in the tech space. First thing first, learning how to do the thing, and then figuring out how to do the thing, how to put the thing to work to like get the desired results. And this is nice. I like that you feel inspired by lots of problems here and there in the African continent
For sure.
to like create solutions like this. But can you like share a little bit of what your transition journey was like from the Web 2 space right to the Web 3 space? I assume that Helicode is a Web 3 centric type of solution. So what was your transition like from Web 2 to Web 3?
Well, I started off as a photographer. Yeah. In 2017.
Amazing.
I was on with my national diploma because I went to Polytechnic to study architecture for 2 years. Then after that, I was just at home for like a whole year doing nothing, and then my mom was like, "Bro, why you always staying at home?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be doing something with your time and stuff like that." So I thought of what exactly can I learn? We always get to that point in life where you don't know the next thing to do. You're like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
What's the next thing to do, right? And then I'm super jealous or super proud of people who are actually doing their own thing, because, bro, if you check the analysis of people who are still roaming around trying to figure out what to do in life, like something you say, this is something I want to take as my own life journey, bro. Most purpose. Most people are still trying to figure that thing out, right? But back to what I was saying. So yeah, was my mom that more like helped me to say, just do photography. What's photography? I was like, okay, let me just try photography. I learned it for 6 months. Then thank God, after learning, I got into university. That was OAU. Then immediately, because I got a camera before I even went to school. Then I started doing photography in school. I was the birthday guy. I was the I was the birthday guy. I was the guy, always moving around with his small camera, that small bag. It was really fun. It was really fun because I didn't do, I didn't start from year one because I did direct entry. So I started from year two. So my year two was super interesting. I was the guy carrying camera up and down, stuff like that. So yeah, I was doing photography in school. Then I met these guys. They were my classmates. They were always, I used to see them, they were always like staying
Together.
No, like they were, so after class, they would all stay behind. I'll be doing stuff on their PC. What are you guys always working on? Then, of course, me too. I was always like doing stuff on my PC, like working on Photoshop, working on Lightroom. I don't know if you guys remember Lightroom. Yeah, I was working on Lightroom, stuff like that. Yeah. So I figured they were into graphic designs, right? Well, I kept working on my photography stuff, but I got to a point, my camera got bad. And the lesson there was I wasn't able to save. I was always, any sum money I made like this, I was spending it and stuff like that. So when I had the challenge of camera that got spoiled, I was able to get a new one, and it need to be tricky for you now to go and ask your parent again that my camera has spoiled, to come and help me with another camera. So
You didn't make profit.
so they were asking like, so what, I feel like using the camera today. Then so yeah, I found myself in a situation where I was like, so what's next for me to do? And to be honest, because I started doing photography, I stopped asking my parents for money. I stopped asking my parents for like, okay, send me stuff for me to survive. I was always doing my own thing, my thing alone. And I figured I got to that situation where there was nothing next for me to do. There was no money coming from anywhere. And then I just remembered I had these guys around that were into graphic design. So, let me ask these guys, guys, how do you do this thing? And well, I've been following them around. We always like go to what's it called? We go to like lecture rooms late at night and just working on our PC, stuff like that. Yeah, basically I just went on YouTube, and I feel like that's like the best thing that's happening right now on the internet.
Yeah.
If you want to learn anything, it's right there, and on YouTube or anywhere else, just for free. Yeah. So I went on YouTube and then I started watching graphic design tutorials.
Wow.
Yeah, basically. And I think it was fast for me. The learning process was fast for me because I was already using photography I was already using Photoshop for photography. Yeah. To edit photos and stuff like that. In like 3 months, I was already doing stuff. I was already combining Coca-Cola, stuff. I just like put it all together, more courses, and it was really coming out well. I started building my portfolio. Then, I don't know how I got the idea, but I started reaching out to people I know on Instagram that I'm into graphic design. Wow. This is my portfolio, blah blah blah.
Now this is interesting.
Yeah, then that led me to like getting my first job. actually my first full-time job in design, just graphic design. That was in 2020. Okay, I got the job like January 2020. Then I worked with these guys for a full year in 2020. So during COVID year, I was always at
Inside
home
working.
doing designs, working and stuff like that. It was very exciting. It was an exciting year. Then in I think that same 2020, because I was super active. No, 2021, I was super active on Twitter. Then this guy Elon Musk was always talking about Dogecoin. He was always tweeting about Dogecoin. I was wondering, what's Dogecoin? What's this guy always talking about? Then I went ahead to do my research. I figured, oh, Dogecoin is actually a cryptocurrency, built on a particular blockchain. Then
Before now, you didn't have any idea of cryptocurrency.
never had any idea of crypto. Never had any idea of crypto. Wow. But of course, I've been hearing about Bitcoin for several years.
Yes.
If you're you guys you're Nigerian, guys, you've heard of those days of MMM. Remember MMM?
Oh,
Yeah, so those days, bro, people were already talking about Bitcoins. Like you used to see all these like very small shops. So like we sell Bitcoin, we buy Bitcoins.
Yeah.
And I really wish I had been
the
buying
knowledge,
Bitcoin. No. I wish someone had told me that, bro, start buying, even if it's as little as 100 naira a year. But I mean, it's too late now. Well, it's never too late. It's still early, right? So because I was doing research on Dogecoin and stuff like that, I figured, oh, there's something called cryptocurrency. Then I had this friend that was already into it. He was already into, like, he had Binance. He had already bought his first crypto.
Wow.
Then I said, bro, what's this Dogecoin? He's like, bro, Dogecoin, blah blah blah. This is exactly what is happening right now in the tech space. I think we should get into it. I was like, oh yeah, let's get into it. Then I went ahead, to buy my first Binance coin, and that's BNB on Binance. Then it was super easy to buy crypto with Naira because there was no this regulation stuff right now wasn't this tight or this serious then. It was super easy. But then that's my like onboarding into like the crypto space, right? Yeah. Then we got super obsessed, we got super interested. Like, what's this crypto? So we figured there's actually more into crypto, right? You can build stuff. There's so much more into crypto than buying or selling Bitcoin or whatever. Like you can actually build stuff in crypto. You can meet people. There's a community. Several stuff in innovations happening in the crypto space. Then we had this friend as well in school that they were working in crypto, and that was where the whole my being inquisitive now came into the picture. Well, what do you mean you work in crypto? I thought you only buy and sell crypto, like invest in crypto. Then they were like, oh, bro, we work in crypto. They pay us in crypto. Like, wow, interesting. Then we started doing our research again. Figured, oh, you could actually work in crypto. That's like got into Web3 from Web2. When I was working with this digital agency in Lagos, then I started working remotely for Web3 project. So basically, that's how I.
Yeah, I think I resonate with this story because it's more like we have the same transition background in a way. Because I've been in the media space for a longest time. Like I've been started with photography, moved to videography, then cinematography. Started practicing full time while I was still living in Lagos at the time. Before I figured, okay, there's a higher call into this. We could even do drone piloting. The transition into tech was just based off of having very good friends and being willing to connect with people, right? We didn't burn bridges growing up. We had like cool friends here and there, people that we met at different occasions. And we figured, oh, we're going to need this contact at some point in our life. We don't know when it's going to be. It was just like a female friend, as small as it could be, that talked about, hey, did you know about Pi? Okay. Pi came from our family. Like they introduced our family to like wanting to mine Pi at the time. I figure, oh, they said this thing is going to be big like Bitcoin, so let's mine. I had them mined Bitcoin. All right. And then she mentioned Discord. I never knew what Discord was.
Who mentioned Discord? Your mom?
It was the lady, right?
The lady who
could like, okay, try to download Discord. I'm going to send you a link to a particular community you can join. And it was C1 Guild at the time. It was the husband's community, and we were just basically tasked with onboarding. I think the baseline of all of this, like from the takeout of what you just said, was okay, we got to the point where we were stuck with funds. We didn't have the funds to carry out most of the operation, which is like a similar story with millions of builders in the space. Yeah. We needed to go not just bankless, we needed to be able to solve our IRL problems, which has to do with finance, right? And I figure, okay, what's the way we can break through from not having enough funds to enter into that realm of financial freedom. And that's one of the entry points, which is basically what every other person can always relate with. So I like the whole transition journey, and I think it should serve as a kind of learning process for anybody who is looking to transition to Web3, to not just burn bridges, have a skill.
Yeah.
If you were not a photographer, you would not even be in the place where people were working on their.
Of course.
So you need to have a skill, which is what anybody can really tell you. Have an entry point. It's called an entry point because you need to have something that you're doing that you can offer as value. Now, the information was out there on YouTube. You had to go do your own research. DYOR. Do your research. Learn about how these things work. Ask questions. People are definitely going to answer you. I mean, we're not all snobs. There are snobs out there, obviously. Which you can relate to. There are people you're asking, you're not going to answer, but there are people out there who are willing to help. Do your research. Get involved. But in the whole process of all of this, and you started building Helicode to help other people get onboarded into this space. I think that's very, very inspiring.
Yeah.
It's one thing that not a lot of people do, right? Well, what are the major problems that you've been facing all this while that you've been building Helicode?
If you're familiar with Y Combinator, which is YC, they always tell you that sometimes to build a very valuable product, sometimes you just have to solve your own problem
First,
right? So the thing is, to learn stuff really is super hard, right? Like, I mean, it requires a lot of commitment, dedication. Like, I remember then I used to I used to wake up like as early as 2 a.m., learning stuff on my own, putting on gen, it was really hard, right? So I think one of the reasons why I started Helicode is to solve my own problem, right? If I decide to learn how to, let's say there's something right now that is trending in crypto, which is AI agents.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to learn how to build an AI agent. How exactly do I do that? I probably have to go to YouTube again and start searching for several YouTube videos, but jumping from A to B to C. Sometimes C will take you to A, because the whole thing is not streamlined, right? That's exactly why I'm working on Helicode, right? I feel like learning a skill should not be so hard, right? I also feel like learning a skill should not take so long. You don't have to I personally believe that the real learning comes or starts when you're doing the actual job. It's not when you're watching several videos, you're watching videos. No, that's not the real learning. The real learning is when you're actually doing the job, right? So basically, Helicode itself is solving my own personal problem, which is when I decide to build any skill, learn any skill, how do I go about it? Because it's very hard. Yeah, there are several tutorials online on Coursera, whatever, but you start to see that, So I personally believe that, especially like to learn how to code right now, I feel like it should be very simple, especially for like an African. It should be very, very simple. Maybe sometimes if it should not require me to use my data, right? That's the feature of Helicode. That's you just go on your phone offline and just learn how to code, right? Yeah. That's how I see Helicode. So yeah, basically the problem really is for people who wants to learn a skill, it should not be so hard, right? I don't know if you also know Replit. Replit?
You may have heard of them, but
Yeah. So Replit is a tech product, is a software that helps you build your own idea.
Oh.
Yeah, even if you don't know how to code, like it helps you build your own idea.
Can you help with the spelling for that?
REPLIT.
LIT, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say I want to build a to-do app or like a workout tracking, whatever app.
Log, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And you don't know how to code. All you have to do is just go on Replit and just tell the AI, help me build a workout. Yeah, but of course it's not free. Yeah, you pay like $5 or something. But I mean, $5 to help you build your own skill in seconds. Yeah, that's so close to exactly what we're doing at Helicode. We want it to be so easy for people to learn any skill. Even if you want to learn how to be a photographer, or well, maybe not photography, but let's say you want to learn front end or product design or graphic design. It should not be so hard, Yeah. So yeah.
But all of it, like in the process of doing all of the cool features, can you highlight the features that you're currently working on now on Helicode, and what's the next feature? Like what the future is for Helicode and how big?
Yeah. So right now, I mean, what you're saying right now sounds like a software. So right now we're not working on any software yet.
Okay.
Because building a product is more like you're growing your baby.
Yeah.
So you take it from like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So the stage we're in right now is what stage we're in right now is you're actually doing life courses or more like life training.
Oh,
That's the stage we're in right now.
with instructors like
Yes, instructors life. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. But if you ask me what's the future of Helicode, basically it should be like a software where
Can
you
help
learn anything from anywhere, on your own, your own time, your own space. You probably don't need any data, like I said. You probably don't need any internet connection to learn how to do anything. So that's the future of Helicode, basically.
This is like so much feature. I'm just getting so much idea while we're talking about Helicode at the same time, and I think this is beautiful. This is a very beautiful solution that you're building all in the process while you have been developing and building the team for Helicode. What has stood out for you?
There's something I've not mentioned here, which is that I feel like, well, it's not like I feel like, I'm very certain that the traditional institutions we have right now in Nigeria, not just Nigeria, Africa, is actually on a very huge decline.
Big decline. Yeah.
I personally studied a course for 5-6 years.
Yeah, let's
Bro,
do that.
No, let's get into it, bro. No, because if we're not telling ourselves all these facts, we're still gonna be in the same stage forever until we change our situation, right? No, we need to ask these questions like, why? Okay, why exactly is that strategy not working anymore? Why? That means there's a problem somewhere.
Yeah.
Why is it like a young person will go to university and study for 7 years, and at the end of the day, there's no job. They stay at home for several years, no job, they're not using the stuff for anything. Maybe they're probably doing TikTok or something, just to survive. Yeah. So that's an issue. That's an issue right there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is actually inspiring us right now at Helicode is to actually build a new kind of school where you're not doing something for a long period of time, and at the end of the day, you're not using your thing for anything, right? So we're trying to change like the status quo, right? Where like, let's say like your brother, if you have like a brother at home, that's probably just finishing a secondary school. You don't need to go. Well, I'm not
on that page with you.
Well, I'm not saying that
you should not do it.
Universities or something, they of course have the advantages, right? Yeah, I mean, the people I met in school, the community I was able to build was in school. But, I mean, as humans, for us to always improve, we of course need to start building several strategies, right? Yeah. Elon Musk is always talking about he wants to take all of us to Mars. People say it's crazy, but he's working on it, and it's working. Like, bro,
It's working.
he's working.
And we're gonna go.
Yeah, of course, for the rich people, of course will be there. So yeah, the traditional institutions right now in Africa is on a very huge decline. To be very honest, don't be surprised you see a young guy that is done with school, in secondary school or high school, and in like a year the boy just go ahead and learn front end coding or whatever.
More better.
And then in 2 years, the boy is already generating like $10,000 per month.
Is that
Now go back to the guy that studied let's say agricultural science for 5 years.
you didn't have to call that course?
No. Let's talk about
computer science as opposed to agricultural science.
To be honest, same thing with computer science.
Yeah.
Right? Because you need to ask them, what are they teaching you in school?
Because I don't know.
Bro, because I had several computer science students when I was in school. If you ask them, can you code? No. So what can you do? Can you design? No. What can you do? They just have the theoretical.
Like the theory doing it.
They just have the theoretical idea of how computers work or how to like combine some computer models, but bro, is that what will feed you?
No.
Uh-huh.
That's not even what you're going to use to solve the problem. You need to to solve the problem as opposed
Exactly. And yeah, we need to start looking into the tech space, because there's a signal there, which is for us as Africans to build wealth in Africa, we need to actually start looking into tech. There's a reason why Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Why? If you check all these companies, what are they doing? Tech. The second guy, which is Jeff Bezos, what is it?
Tech-based.
I think the third guy is Mark, right? Now, Mark Zuckerberg. What is it? Tech.
I think Mark is fourth. I checked it.
Is it fourth?
There's another guy that just I don't.
Is it the
nowhere, boy.
Who is that? Who is that?
I can't remember his name, but he's just on that list.
Okay.
And I'm like,
wow. Anyways, Mark is the fourth, right?
Yeah.
And of course, he's the founder of Meta, Facebook. That's tech. So we need to start investing in tech. And if you check very well, how many educational platforms out there, like as big as all these traditional institutions, is actually giving this training in terms of tech to our young people? Is very little.
Yeah, there are double sides to this, because not everyone wants to be self-employed. Not everybody wants to build a solution. Some people just want to live an average life. right?
Which is fine.
Yeah, you can go ahead and.
Well, here based on our choices, based on our decisions, which is
Just and then lots of parents and guidance that they have those guidance that they have so much role they are playing in this as well. I've told myself that I'm literally going to homeschool my kids, and when it's time for them to
should do, bro.
when it's time for them to actually like
do it.
get to work,
Yeah, you should.
from the tender age, they should start learning what I see from their behaviors. Like if I see that you like playing football, bro, if you're not going to any damn university, you are just going to learn different languages, learn Spanish, learn how to speak Portuguese, learn all those crap. Then go ahead and join a football academy and perfect your skill in sports. But if you are pumped, you like talking, okay, I'll channel you to something about talking. There are lots of things that,
Of course, so many.
right? We had all of these skills earlier growing up if we were properly harnessed. But our parents did a good job. Thanks to God and thanks to them, we turned out great. But like you said, there's more work to do.
There's so much
Work more to solve these problems that we want to solve. And then
Yeah.
I'm happy that someone is finally talking about this, because I wouldn't want to talk about it on my own because I might not have the full stand to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that people are talking about it now. This is not to be taken the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. But yeah, and before like I go back to the main question. So the thing is, like, we see amazing softwares or hardwares, like, let's for example Starlink.
Yeah.
But if you check, how many of us in Nigeria, for example, can actually build something like Starlink? They're probably out there, but where are they? Who is building this? Who is building that? Bro, like, those guys, the white guys are doing a lot of amazing things. Like, they're always building stuff.
Yes.
They're doing ChatGPT, Perplexity AI. Yeah, they're doing all this amazing stuff. But how can we build all those kind of talent in Africa? Most people don't talk about it. We have those talents, right?
It's just they're not being harnessed for.
Yeah. How do we build those talents? How do we nurture those talents?
Yes, nurture.
Bro, that's my passion. That's exactly what I want to do.
That is what we're doing with Helicode.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. So back to the question, which is how I've been able to build a team and what I've been able to learn along the way. So I think that when you have an idea and you want to build something, and you, of course, build in public, people just reach out to you that, yo, I like what you're doing. And that's exactly how I met my team. Again, apart from my co-founder, who I reached out to. And when I reached out to him, he was like, oh, bro, I like this idea of creating impact.
Yeah, and I believe you were able to reach out to him because he was building in public too, and you've known him for
basically. Yeah, he just invited me to like a podcast like this. He just had a podcast like this, and it was like, bro, I heard your Web3 space, and you've been in stuff for a very long period of time. Can I get you on my pod, blah blah blah, my podcast? And we had the podcast, and I remember, oh, this guy, in fact, let me talk to him about what I'm building, and he agreed that we should build it together. I've actually been building it together since like officially since August.
Wow.
So yeah, I think some lessons so far is that well, building takes time.
Yeah.
And you have to be, I think one thing I'm reading recently is you have to be extremely obsessed with your idea. Like, even if it doesn't work, if A doesn't work, you have to look at B, or you just have to keep reiterating until you find something that works. So basically that's what I've been learning so far.
Yeah, this reminded me.
I mean,
something.
As obsessed as, so I was watching a video on I was watching one video on Twitter. I think Steve Jobs or something was talking about, I can't remember who was it. Was talking about Bill Gates.
Yeah.
That Bill Gates was driving him to the airport, and then he figured out in Bill Gates' car, the radio thing was not there. Was removed.
Oh.
Then he asked him, bro, why is this radio not here? He said, because I don't want to hear anything apart from Microsoft. The only thing I want to hear about is Microsoft. So I don't want to hear any other thing apart from Microsoft. I don't want to be distracted. But that's obsession, right? He was super obsessed with what he was building. And I think that's what I'm learning recently, which is you have to be extremely obsessed with what you're doing. Like, this is your podcast. You have to be extreme. Like, if they wake you up very late at night, say, my podcast, like, exactly, like, yeah, that's just the idea, bro. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had to laugh that loud. But then it's something that I agree with you on this, because if you're, nobody can believe in you like the way you believe in yourself. Of course, if you're believing in me now, it's because I've believed in myself so well that now you're beginning to believe in me because I believe in myself. And when I start losing that belief, you automatically stop believing in me, except you've seen the potential and you feel like, okay, this person can do great, which is not always out there for different people at different times, right? Yeah. And I'm still very, very, very interested and happy with what you're building with Helicode. Is it like a paid platform? Like people have to pay for the
Yeah, it's a paid platform. Yeah.
Right.
But very cheap.
Yeah.
It's very cheap.
I think it should be not so cheap. I would agree with that because people are willing to spend millions on a 4-year course that they don't.
So to be honest, that's our current challenge, which is people are not able to pay for courses. I don't know why, maybe because we're just starting. But I figured maybe still okay. So what I did was I saw a lot of people registering for courses, and what I did was I just picked up my phone. I started calling them like, "What's the issue?" I figured you wanted to take a course, but along the line you stopped your application. Then most of them were like, "Oh, financial issues, like it's too expensive." I mean, then our courses was like around $30 or $40.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, right?
Wait, like I'm trying to figure. That's what the person said.
Yeah, it's expensive. I think in naira is like maybe 90 something K naira.
Is expensive for a course. Okay.
But a course that would generate like at least $8,000 per month for you. And I think $1,000 right now in naira should be
Okay. Maybe like let's not tell the world.
like one, maybe like one. No, let's tell them maybe like 1.6 million naira. But I mean, I understand, right? Like the economy right now is super interesting. Let me just say that way.
It's very, very interesting, but I feel like it's a personal decision. I've seen a course that I like, and I've resonated within myself, and I've come to this resolution that January of 2025, I'm going to buy this course. It's just $999 USD.
$999.
It's a
Amazing.
very important course,
Amazing.
and I know, because I've seen testimonials of people that bought this course. I prioritize on knowledge.
Yeah,
I buy books as often as possible.
that's exactly how we can go for. To
I
be honest,
consume so much knowledge, information that I need, things that I need. I don't go to, like you mentioned, Bill Gates or someone in the car that don't have a stereo. I think I might have to remove the stereo.
you should.
So we don't have to like hear the noise.
Yeah.
So we can get obsessed and continue building what we are building.
Yeah.
For someone that really wants change, I don't think 90,000 is so much. I don't even think 150 or 200 is too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the current challenge we're facing, and so right now we're running like a very huge discount. So the courses are like going for like 16,000 naira. Yeah, thereabouts. So
what are like few courses that you have on there?
So right now we're taking Web3 marketing. So if you want to like become a growth marketer, which I think is a very hot
growth marketing courses, yes.
Yeah. Very hot one, very, very hot one right now in crypto. We're taking technical writing, which is if you're able to like write technical documentation or stuff, which is also a very, very these are interesting skills. Like in high demand. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about that. We also have cybersecurity, blockchain cybersecurity, which is also a very, very like top skills.
Not so rampant as well.
Yeah, just few people are doing that right now. We also have what else? Blockchain research. Then we have product design we're going to roll out next year.
AI automation?
No, not yet. No, we're only focused on Web3, but of course we'll have all these AI stuff very soon. But right now, these are the courses we have.
But this is actually beautiful courses that are in high demand.
Yeah,
it has a lot of good projects out there. Most of them don't have very good growth marketers. Most of them don't have very good business developers.
Yeah.
I think if someone that is very communicative is able to take this course, they are going to do extremely well in their journey, especially in the Web3 space. So
I personally know projects who are very ready to pay about $10,000 per month.
Yes,
for
I do as well.
Marketers. Yeah,
I mean the annual salary for very good growth marketers span up to $120K.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's a very important.
You know? So that's the thing, right? When you tell people that all we need from you is a very little amount of financial commitment and dedication and time
and
consistency. In like 1 year or 6 months, you change your life, and that's exactly what we want to do at Helicode. Like we want to create this huge impact. Of course, people are building fintech, people are building stuff, but who is gonna build our education part? Who is gonna like help us build the next generation of Africa?
If
Right.
we're not gonna have them.
You won't. How many unicorns do we have right now in Africa? Probably have like 10. And if you check the population of Africa, bro, it's huge. And imagine you only have 9 unicorns. Take unicorns, 9 or maybe 10. I don't know. I'm not sure of that.
That's not even making
But maybe max 20. I don't know. But imagine like even Nigeria alone, we're almost 300 million people.
and we have good businesses here. We have good builders as well. So guys, this is like a wake-up call for anyone out there who is looking for what to do. If you're tired of the current status quo, I think you should try to leverage technology. You should try to transition to Web3. And if you've not done that,
then I think we should also talk about like why we are focused in Web3, like Helicode as a company. Why are we doing this in Web3? So the thing, Web2. Yeah, why not Web2? So the reason is we've seen that freedom in Web3. Let me start by saying currently, if you're a remote worker in Web2, and you're earning salaries, let's say from the US, how exactly do they pay you? They probably pay you through your bank. And then for you to open a bank, first off, we're not talking about like if you're 17, which you're not eligible to open a bank right now in Nigeria, right?
Another
Exactly.
There's just like few fintech products that you can use right now. That.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that too, right? Then, for you to also open like a bank, like let's say like our
Standard
traditional bank, stuff like that, it takes a lot of work, a lot of process, and stuff like that. But if you're in crypto, you can literally create a bank account in like 2 seconds. But of course, this bank account we're talking about is not your bank account. It's a crypto wallet. But of course, it's basically a bank account
that lives on the blockchain.
Then the interesting part of working in crypto is when your employer pays you in crypto, you get it instantly.
ASAP, immediately.
People don't know I always talk about this on my Twitter, which is people don't know the people don't understand that take off. Someone sending money from California, and me that I'm in Nigeria, like I'm getting the money in like 2 seconds. Like you're getting money at the speed of light, bro.
You've seen it there.
Like, bro.
The screen while they're doing it.
And
seen it.
It's so easy that you're also able to move that money to your Naira.
Process is
very quick. So, but that's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly why we're building in crypto. So like building crypto has given us this universal freedom. We've also talked about like if you move to another country, how do you survive? Imagine you're going to South Africa and you don't have their currency. How do you buy stuff around? But bro, all you have to do is just go to like an off-ramping platform and move your USDC to like just their currency in like few seconds, and now you're buying stuff in South Africa.
And for some countries as well that have started accepting crypto for payments, it makes it even more easy.
Yeah.
So I think there's
they should do also like talk about like the privacy. I'm only talking about like the speed of life when it comes to like moving money. Should we also talk about like the privacy, the security, the ownership, which is exactly what we're fighting for in Web3 right now. Even the current US president is big supporter of crypto, of course, like
the pro
right
crypto guy.
Yeah, so that's what we're building crypto.
So much going on out there that are not often talked about. I think I want to circle back on how many people so far has Helicode been able to onboard into the Web3 space.
I would say we've onboarded them fully, but we've been able to sign up about like 2,200. From like 25 plus countries.
Wow.
Yeah, currently.
That's so much progress.
Yeah. So that's to show that people are actually interested in the space. They want to learn stuff, but you probably need time to decide on okay, this is what I'm gonna do. But we've been able to.
But in the area of after learning the skills, have you thought about, or is there a plan in place to help these users that you've been able to help transition from Web 2 to Web 3 after they've learned the skill, like a safe landing space? Is there like a plan in place? There are like products or projects that you could build relationships.
Do you mean where they can? Do you mean like
where they can
get jobs or something?
Get jobs.
Oh yeah. If you go on a website, you see there. We help you build the knowledge. We help you build the skill. We also help you with mentorship. And we also help you get jobs. But of course, we cannot get jobs for everybody.
I mean,
right?
That's right.
Yeah. But we have that solution right now, which is because we have we partner with some companies who would like to hire from Africa. Well, that's another thing we're also doing at Helicode. We're helping, top companies from the US or from the rest of the world to hire from Africa. Yeah, because we have the talent here. Yeah, so
Yeah, we do.
yeah, we're doing that too as well at Helicode.
There's like so much great things. All the while that you've been doing this, there was a time we talked about like what did not work. How have you been able to keep hope alive and building this? Because obviously it's not been rosy. If it's not be rosy, I'm not going to believe you. That's it.
Well, that's where I feel like building anything is very hard, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, it's a very lonely part, especially if when you see like your folks that you started with are doing well at their current job, and you that you decided to build something, and you're still like at the same place. Still trying ideas. But how do I keep up, or like how do I motivate myself or encourage myself? So as I was saying, um is very hard, right? It's very hard to build anything. Even to build a skill is hard.
Yeah.
To build wealth is hard. To build, and even to build a relationship is hard. Right? Yeah, because anything is hard, right? So how do I like encourage myself? How do I keep myself going? I think one of the things that is really helping me right now is the people I'm following on Twitter,
Okay.
and they just drop these very interesting quotes. Like there's one I saw yesterday, which was every morning you're born again.
Wow.
Yeah. So whatever you do that day determines your tomorrow. So whatever has happened like yesterday is gone. So it's what you now do. Like as we're talking, it's what we do today now that will determine how tomorrow will be. When I see stuff like that, it like inspires me. Right? It helps me keep going. Like I also said that you just have to be obsessed. Like right now, there's one guy, and I actually when I went. So I was invited to a place like 2 weeks ago to come and talk about Helicode. And one of the things I mentioned was there's a guy currently that is talking about, he's super obsessed about how he thinks that humans cannot die. Yes,
That's kind of funny. Sorry.
that's like another dimension of being obsessed. This guy just thinks that he said he wants to defeat death. Now he says he wants to defeat death. Yeah, now go and defeat death now. No problem. Let's see now.
It can work.
I mean, I don't know. Nobody knows that yet, but let's see.
Oh.
Right? So yeah, basically, I just like encourage myself to just be obsessed with the problem, right? And then I help myself to be right now. There are so many distractions, right?
Yes.
So many distractions that you look to the left, look at the right, distractions everywhere, right? Help myself, and I try myself to be very focused. Even if it take me to mute people's stuff on maybe social media or whatever, like mute some apps I do that just so I can encourage myself building stuff. Yeah, but basically, of course, there are also times where you're depressed. Yeah, I've been there. It was this time that we're building the payment gateway for Helicode, and I was doing so many things and it wasn't working. What's going on? Bro, I was very depressed. Like I couldn't even sleep. I was like, what's going on? What's going on like this? But yeah, have we fixed that? Yes, we fixed that. So yeah, basically you just have to just keep going, observe the problem, block every distraction, just focus on your own journey. That's right. And then, like I said, Twitter helps me a whole lot. I saw a quote recently which is I'm just going to do whatever I like, however I like it.
Yeah.
Right? As far as I'm growing, I'm improving every single day. I'll just keep going. Like I don't care what Mr. A is doing. I don't care what Mr. B is doing. I'm just going to focus on my own path. Right? And that's why if you read books or if you watch this analogy of a tortoise and a rabbit moving the same direction, the rabbit is always distracted moving around.
Yeah.
But the tortoise are slow. Yeah, slow, right? But focused.
Yeah, focused.
And who made it? The tortoise still made it.
Of course. Right? It's a steady.
Yeah, so
slow and steady. Slow and steady.
yeah. So yeah, that's it basically. That's how I like help.
Is this
so,
personal mantra that you go with? Like, something like for me, I do every day.
I like this question because I've been reading about a lot of people's mantras, and I ask myself, what's my own mantra? I feel like I don't have it yet, and I would like to actually have it. And I think my own mantra will just be, you know what? I'm smart. My own mantra will be, anybody's smart, which I'll just tell myself that, you know what, Fiyin, you're smart.
Yeah.
Just do what you want to do with your life and focus. Just keep doing what you want to do and don't bother about what this person is doing, this person. Just what excites you, what inspires you. Just keep doing it. I think that's my mantra. Like, I'll just keep doing what I want. And if you check myself well, like exactly, I told my parents I don't want to stop at Polytechnic, and I told them that, I'm not going to go to university. And I did that. I told my friends that you guys, I'm not staying this Ife because I finished from OU.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, the day I graduated, the next day I moved immediately to date person. Yeah, and of course, I like, I like taking risks. Yeah, so I just keep doing what I want to do, bro, until I get to that destination. Yeah, I would think that's get there. Yeah, so I just like created my personal mantra right now. I was going right to also where
Exactly. Anyways, I go with 1% better every day, and that's
for sure.
because I believe in showing up.
Yeah, bro, it
I
works.
believe in showing
It
up.
works. It works.
I sometimes I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what your project is about. Can you even believe that I've been a product designer?
You?
Yes.
For how long?
Oh, but interesting. Cutting is okay, nice. Yeah, when I get that. Okay. What I a product designer? I'm like, yeah, I am a product designer.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about it, but I feel like if I'm able to show up,
Yeah.
and learn this thing,
Yeah.
in one day,
Yeah.
I can have the idea to get started learning it.
Yes.
Before you know it, I become a personal product manager or product designer. So I go with the mantra 1% better every day. Wake up, do that 1%.
Correct.
Every small win counts towards the big win.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more you are studying it,
And
the more you're going.
yeah, and I also believe that anybody can become anything. You can become the next president of US if you're super obsessed with it. You can become the next billionaire in dollars if you're obsessed with it. And I think basically the arc is just keep shooting shots. Just keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. That's why, well, Helicode that I'm building, bro, is like a lifetime journey, to be honest. I'll just keep reiterating. Today's what? This is going 2024.
Yeah, 2024.
I don't know what the futures is, but I'm just gonna keep building Helicode. Like keep reiterating, keep shooting shots, just keep trying, keep improving, keep getting better every single day. And I feel like, and I believe and I hope that we'll get there, like eventually.
Now you just mentioned hope, and that is taking my brain to the major part of Positive Thought podcast, which is sharing, sparking, and activating hope. We want to continuously share hope to people that are almost losing it. A lot of people are losing hope out there. Now motivation is not cutting it anymore. Started off being very motivated. Some of them have lost the discipline along the way. Some people have, and some people have not. I believe that when young builders continue to hear stories like this, obviously we are not at the peak of our career and our things we are building, but we've made significant progress.
Mm-hmm.
We have something, a solution, and everybody, they can see it.
Yeah.
Now, the more you are seeing this, the more you can resonate with the fact that if this person can do it, then I can do it.
Of course.
So those people that inspire you on X, when you go out there and you see what they're posting, see what they're building, you feel very, very excited, motivated to do something.
Yeah.
That's like having hope.
I just wish this podcast doesn't stop because I just remembered something while you're just talking now.
Please share.
Which is I mentioned Replit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now, this guy, when he was building Replit, where he was working at a company as a software engineer, then he kept working on Replit, right? They failed several times. And then I mean you just don't know what you're like, you just don't know, you don't see the future, right? You don't know what will happen tomorrow.
They don't come fully formed.
So this guy just kept working on Replit, just kept working on it. And then, someone big just saw that idea, that solution, was like, I've been looking for this idea for a very long time. I want to fund this thing. And that's how they got their first breakthrough.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was program of YC that like funded them, but how they got in touch with a program was through Sam Altman, who is the current CEO of OpenAI. Yeah. So I mean, basically, like, let's just keep going. Like that guy right now is really inspiring me and motivating me like a whole lot. He's from Jordan, and right now he lives in California, US. Doing amazing stuff. So yeah, we can do anything. We can build anything. We can become anything.
I'm so pumped right now, all these conversations, because these are like points that are very, very, very important. And I'm happy that you were able to run with the idea of code, and you're still running with it, and you're making all the iterations that needs to be made on this particular journey, because this is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest gifts that you can give anybody is human capital development.
True.
that is how to build a sustainable economy that is going to, maybe that is one, but that is how you get to impact life, even as an entrepreneur. That is why I resonate so much with what you're building at Helicode. Of course. And I'll even go as far as telling any builder out there, the space, the sky is so big and high. We need a lot of us on there flying.
Okay.
When we have a lot of us on there flying, I feel like there is going to be reduced nuisance. There's not just going to be so much problems here and there.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a community of not only friends, people that have so much solutions. Ideas are going to come, not fully formed though. The more you keep on working on them,
Yeah.
the more it's going to come out more beautiful and more beautiful. So let's just keep up doing this. And I'm just going to end this here right now with one question of like, what's the best advice? But before you go ahead to like share that best advice to anybody that is building in the Web3 space and anyone that wants to transition from the Web2 space to the Web3 space, I would like to highlight that we're definitely going to do this particular episode one more time or two more times and try to get as many other builders in Web3 as we can get to brainstorm on all of these things and talk about what has been really helping us and keeping us alive, filled with so much hope that what we're building is really going to work. So we're going to do it anytime very, very soon. This is a very short one. So I know in one episode we can cover all of these things. But what's the very best advice that you can give to anybody that's taking to transition from Web2 to Web3 and anyone who is actually building right now?
Well, it's very simple. I think the first advice I'll give you is look for communities. Look for someone you can talk to about, transitioning, like so they can give you the tools and like the guidance of how you can transition, which is not hard. I mean, an example is join our Helicode community or Telegram, would guide you on how you can get started in Web3 space. And the second one was
like people who are currently building but feel like they're not seeing the results just yet.
Oh man, I think the first thing, it's very tricky. Well, I think the first question you need to ask yourself is, am I obsessed with this idea? Like, am I super obsessed with this idea? If your answer to that question is no, bro, you're working on the wrong idea. You're working on the wrong thing. But if your answer is yes, bro, you don't need any advice. Just keep going. Just keep pushing forward. Just keep getting better each day. Just keep encouraging yourself. Like, block every distraction. Just focus. Just keep doing your own thing, your own way.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's it basically.
Thank you so much for joining us, and to every single person who has spent their time watching us here discussing all of these beautiful ideas. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like these videos. Don't forget to subscribe, and of course, you can bookmark this, save it to your playlist as watch later or whichever thing, because these are very handy step-by-step things you can do, ideas that we just shared here. They're very helpful, especially when you're looking to be very productive and you're looking to transition as well from Web2 to Web3. And if you're building in Web3 as well, feel free to connect with us. So you can find the links to Helicode and, of course, the link to Fiyin's X accounts. Try to give them a follow. Of course, write a comment. Feel free to join the Helicode Telegram and Discord channels. Ask as much questions as you can. Seek for guidance, and you're going to get it. See you all at the top. And of course, don't forget to do your 1% today. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.